On this video, we are going to sit down and have a serious talk with ourselves, and we're going to listen. Hi, I'm artist, DJ, and author Michael Joseph, and on this video, we're going to talk today about loneliness. And since I don't feel that I'm the most expert on this, because I don't feel that I feel loneliness like other people do, and I know that probably is going to sound like it's crazy, but I observe it as a peaceful thing. I don't necessarily see loneliness in being alone the way most people do. In fact, here is a little excerpt from my book, The Creative Virus, talking about being alone and loneliness. When I say I'm not a people person, people who don't really know me think there is a punchline coming. It may not seem like it with my career choice, but I'm really not. Some people get together with their friends or loved ones to have fun and recharge their batteries. That's not me. Sometimes just answering back a text can be draining on my personal battery. Keep in mind, there is a big difference between shyness and introversion. I'm not shy. I'm not even sure I'm introverted. But like many artists, I value my time alone more than I do time with others. It's nothing against people in general, it's just sometimes it's not worth the gamble of socializing when compared to how draining it is in the end. Now, there are a lot of different things that can cause loneliness, and we're going to talk about those things today that might be the source of your loneliness, but we're also going to talk about some things you can do to overcome that loneliness. Now, first off, you can feel lonely in a crowd, and you can feel lonely in a relationship. So being in a relationship or being in a crowd of people out at a party or whatever is not going to solve your loneliness. First things first. Loneliness comes from certain things like a lack of belonging or not feeling attached to a certain person or a certain group of people, a social group or whatever. Sometimes having your life feel out of control can be a source of loneliness. If you don't feel things you do or who you are is valuable, that can cause loneliness. If you feel that you're just not seen by others, if you feel invisible, that can be a source of loneliness. And a lack of purpose in your life can also be a source of loneliness. Now, one of the things that I'm comfortable with that I always have to ask people when it comes to the loneliness stuff is, are you comfortable in your own head? As in, if you were hanging out with you, would you be comfortable with you as a companion? So a lot of times in our feeling of lonely, we have ourselves, but we don't want to face ourselves because we're not happy about ourselves. So one of the things you can do when you look at the reasons that, what causes loneliness, whether it be the belonging or the not attached, but some of it could be just simply you're not comfortable with who you are. So you have to kind of figure out what you want, like who would you want to hang around? The way you talk to yourself, would that be if someone else talked to themselves the way you talk to yourself, would you want to hang around with that person? And what would you want from that person that you would hang out with if it, metaphorically isn't you? What would you want from them? Would you want truth from them? Kindness, honesty, encouragement? Or maybe you just want your life to be puffed up with lies. Or maybe you want a partner in crime to do bad things with. Or you just want someone to complain to. Now, those are all reasons and things and scenarios that can cause loneliness, but feeding into them isn't going to help you feel less lonely. I would suggest starting with finding out of those lists I talked about before about belonging, not attachment, out of your life being out of control, you're not feeling valued, feeling invisible, and feeling like you don't have a purpose. Those are things to look at first and see if any of those are the root cause, because that's more important to getting rid of the loneliness is finding out the root cause. Are those the root causes, or is it simply you're not comfortable with being around you, who you are? And a way to solve that is to become the person you need. If you need a person to be encouraging, start by trying to encourage yourself. I've done a few other videos on here where I talk about, how to focus on what you want instead of focusing on things you hope don't happen. You can be the person you need. It may take time. In fact, I'm telling you, it's going to take time. In my book, I talk about some of these things you want to achieve in life. You have to give yourself 4 times as much time as you think it's going to take you. So today, that's what the video is covering over, is how to identify the things that make you feel lonely and how possibly to start to be the person you need. And that might attract a person you want in your life. Again, I'm not an expert on this. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychoanalyst. I'm just a person who has spent many decades on this earth, and I've learned from my mistakes, and I've observed people around me, and loneliness is way less on the fringe that you think it is. It's a normal part of everyone's life. Everyone feels lonely at some point. And the question is, if you have this in your life, how can you get over this, get around this? And today, I wanted to take a look at those few things. Again, from my point of view, I don't feel that I have the greatest point of view of loneliness, but start to identify what is causing the loneliness and start being that person you need in these times of loneliness. And I'm going to be honest with you, you never know what can happen when you give yourself a try. So until next time, think about that. Let me know your thoughts in regards to all of those things. Take care of yourself and talk to yourself kindly, because it's a crazy world out there, and sometimes it's a crazy world in there. God bless.
Hi, it's me, Tiny Taco, way up here in the mountain, just to remind you that you can watch some Michael Joseph video. I can, 'cause I'm up here on the mountain. So until I get back, watch some videos for me. Until then, adios!